Time to round up a big topic from the week. In a couple of months, about 35,000 people in the Houston area will get a raise. That's because they work for Walmart. The world's largest retail store announced the minimum wage for entry-level employees is going up to $9 an hour in April. Walmart also plans to raise the average full-time wage to $13 an hour by 2016. Part-time workers would get a raise to about $10 an hour. The raises are expected to cost Walmart $1 billion. So do these raises give more ammunition to the debate to raise minimum wage for all American workers? Will it help or hurt the economy? That's our topic this half hour. We want to hear from you on our Fox 26 Facebook page. You can also weigh in on Twitter. Use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in our newsroom is our Roundup panel, and it is led by our Fox 26 senior legal analyst, Chris Tritico. All right, Chris, so apparently economic forces led Walmart to act. Is this a sign that it's politically safe, so to speak, for other companies to do the same?
Well, I think it certainly changes the argument a little bit, because the argument has been you can't raise the minimum wage because it will harm businesses' ability to continue to be profitable and therefore hurt the economy overall. Now, here's one of the biggest employers in the country saying, no, we can do this and we can still be profitable. And so I think it changes the argument and changes the way the Republicans are going to have to continue to attack this. Now, the president wants $10.10 an hour. Walmart didn't go that far, but in a few years they will hit pretty close to what the president's asking for. So I think it's a new day in the argument about whether or not businesses can handle the increase in the minimum wage. Let me introduce our panel. Mustafa Tamiz, our political analyst, Jackie Bally, public policy analyst. This certainly changes the argument. I mean, Walmart saying we can afford another $1 billion in pay changes the argument nationwide, doesn't it?
If you look at Walmart's income statements, they're one of the largest, if not the largest company in the world, and they have 2.2 million employees. So if they can afford it, so can others. But the bigger issue with this is we should raise the minimum wage because it's good for all of us. Because when you raise the minimum wage, there's more money in the economy. 70% of our GDP is on consumer spending. So if consumers have more money, which is the working people, they will spend it and it'll benefit the entire economy.
How are the Republicans going to continue attacking raising the minimum wage when you've got one of the nation's largest employers saying, no, we can do this?
Yeah, it's not just Republicans. It's anyone who actually looks at that. It could be a small business owner, regardless if they have a D or R by their name. In fact, I was with a small business owner last night. He owns a couple of health fitness clubs in the city, and he said there's no way that he could continue to make a profit at this rate because he doesn't have the budget that Walmart does. And even companies that are as large as Walmart, which has a very large profit margin, and it's not fair to compare that to other businesses because they're not typical in many, many ways. That money is coming from something. So even though they said we can be profitable, it could be by reducing the number of employees they do have. It could come from other.
They didn't say that.
Of course not. They're not going to say that, but that's the money's coming from somewhere. So all of a sudden they're just going to poof come up with the money. It has to. If you look at a budget, you have to draw the money from something. It could be from their health care plans. It could be for anything.
Okay, let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Okay, let's take a look at a couple of the tweets that are coming in. First one, big shout out to the Walmart CEO for compensating wages for their workers and benefits. Hopefully this will be the norm for other companies. And then this person saying, I understand Walmart trying to raise the minimum wage, but it's not meant to be a career job. So say $10 or $15 an hour. No, he says that defeats the purpose. What do you think about that comment? Because there are a lot of people who work at Walmart who have families that they're trying to support.
It's a false argument to say that the minimum wage was never intended to be a career job. The reason that the federal government instituted the minimum wage is because there was a whole lot of people who were working at jobs where they weren't making enough money to support their families on it. It's a false argument, in my view, Mustafa Tamiz, to say the minimum wage was never intended to be that. That's exactly what it was intended to be.
I do a lot of work with low-wage workers, and I'll tell you, the median age for a fast food worker is 28. So the fact that people still talk about their high school workers or these are entry-level jobs is no longer true. So anybody that says it knowingly is lying to the public. And so we have to get beyond these soundbite arguments of these are just entry-level jobs, these are just people that are high school jobs. That's not the case anymore. If the median age is 28, that means there's a lot of people that are putting food on the table for their kids based on those earnings.
What about that?
I don't think that our viewers are using sound bites just because they're making valid points as to why we need to make sure that we look at the entire budget sheet for any Walmart or any other business. That a lot of the reasons why you see small business owners who look at this and they say no is because, again, they're looking at their profit margin and they're thinking, okay, if I'm going to actually increase my wages for my workers, then I'm going to have to put that back on the buyers. So either they're going to raise the prices on their products, they're either going to do something that's going to be transferred back to us. Again, the money is coming from somewhere.
Real quick, what about that? I mean, there is some truth to that. And I've got to get the money somewhere, so I'm going to have to raise my prices?
That's why I say it's good for the overall economy. If consumer spending is 70%, if you put the money in the pockets of people that spend it for basic goods, it's going to come back in the economy and grow it. One of the reasons why our economy is not growing in 3, 4, 5% in GDP is because the divide between the rich and the poor. By putting more money in the pockets of working people, the economy will do better. We will all do better.
All right, we're going to have to, I'm sorry, we got to leave it right there.